still hung up on Harley, right?
If I were still hung up on Harley, we wouldn't have split up. Simple as that.
Well, then, if it is as simple as that, then why don't I just spend the night?
Because you haven't been invited. And that's not going to do you any good.
Will you admit it? You are crazy about me. Now, will you come on and dance? Put this down. Come on.
Oh, Don, please.
Forget about the Navy. You want me, don't you?
You're going home in exactly 3 minutes.
Security, Lieutenant Brownell. Take it easy, we'll be right there. Harris, let's go.
I had to shoot him. I didn't have a choice.
He's dead.
Mac, you look beautiful.
Not bad for an old sea dog.
Yes, especially for one who's never been to sea.
A little tight in the seat there, Commissioner.
Commander Mildred, he's been on active duty since this morning.
Oh, yeah, well, if the United States can take it for 2 weeks, I suppose I can. I'll get it.
That woman has no patriotism.
None at all.
None.
Besides, it's not that tight in the seat.
Hi. John Paul Jones will be ready any minute. You want some coffee?
Thanks, Mildred, but I don't think we have time.
Ta-da! What do you think, Charlie?
You look terrific, sir.
Thank you.
Hope you're not just saying that, Sergeant.
Well, Sally, this is it.
I'm gonna miss you.
Yeah, it's a rough war. You won't see him till tonight.
It's the idea of it, Mildred. It's a whole strange new world.
I know, 30 minutes away. And he does it 2 weeks out of every year.
This is active duty, a naval base.
All right. He sits in an office behind a desk, as opposed to the other 50 weeks of the year where he sits in an office behind the desk.
There's no glamour in your soul, Mildred. Not an ounce.
We of the Broom Brigade, Commander Commissioner, take a different view of things.
Let's go, Charlie.
Have fun.
Goodbye.
Don't take any wooden anchors, Admiral.
I hate to think how this stuff's gonna pile up while I'm gone.
Well, why don't you do some moonlighting, sir? Drop by the office a couple of times a week.
I can't be a police commissioner and a naval officer at the same time. It's against the law.
Well, then I guess it'll have to stay piled up till you get back.
On the other hand, I don't see why we couldn't meet a couple times, have lunch. No law against old friends having a friendly chat.
Very good, sir.
McMillan, reporting in.
Oh, yes, sir. Captain Stiles is out right now, but he's expecting you. If you'll just go down the corridor, second door to the left, Commander Campbell will take care of you.
Thank you.
Commander McMillan.
Yes.
I'm Petty Officer Bell. I'm going to be assisting you for the next 2 weeks.
Good morning.
May I take your bags?
Yes, thank you.
How do you like your coffee, sir?
Well, hot, strong, cream, sugar.
Okay, fine.
Commander Campbell. My name's McMillan.
The well-known police commissioner, isn't it?
Well, not for the next couple of weeks.
This must be something like hard duty for you, Commissioner. Leaving your police empire behind.
I'll survive. I take it you don't care much for police commissioners.
Oh, I don't mind police commissioners. It's JAG reserve officers I haven't much time for. Commander Campbell. Don't be ridiculous, Tybal. You're dealing with a 37-day UA. Now get your 6016R and throw him in front of a summary court-martial. You do remember some of our Navy terminology, Commander. UA?
Unauthorized absence.
Commander McMillan, Captain Stiles is back in his office. He'd like to see you if you're not busy.
Thank you. Captain.
Mac. Damn good to see you. Has it been a whole year?
I was thinking the same thing, Captain. It's good to see you.
Sit down.
Thank you.
How are things on the outside?
Well, there are more good guys than there are bad guys. We're hanging in there.
Well, the same here. We get busy, we get quiet in waves. I guess it's probably tied into a full moon.
Mac, these little tours of duty must be kind of dull. How would you like something challenging this time?
Well, I'd love it. I don't get much legal practice these days.
That's the spirit. I want you to handle defense counsel, second-degree murder.
You're not serious.
The defendant's name is Catherine Boone. She's a lieutenant.
You are serious.
According to the lady, a lieutenant named Donald Corbett tried to rape her. Lieutenant Boone took exception to his attitude, pulled a gun and shot him. I need you.
Well, sir, I don't mean to question your judgment, but I haven't been in front of a jury for 12 years.
Mac, I haven't got anybody else.
There's not one JAG officer available?
Got a half a dozen bright young fellas. Several of them knew the deceased. A couple of them are too green to handle a murder. What choice do I have there, Mac?
Sir, the question is, would I be any better?
Now, you've been out of action for some time, but you've got something substantial to fall back on.
I know. My housekeeper mentioned it just this morning.
I'm not pretending you're the best man for the job. Just so happens you're the best man I've got.
Captain, excuse me. I've turned over that Article 32 on Vincent to Moore. He's going to need some help.
Oh, I'll talk to him after lunch. Have you two met?
We certainly have. Captain, you mentioned a shortage of experienced officers. It seems to me that Commander Campbell will be more than qualified.
Oh, he is more than qualified, but he's playing the other side of the fence.
Trial counsel.
Campbell's the government. You're the defense.
Commander?
You have your work cut out for you, Mac. He's one of our best. Oh, incidentally, I told Lieutenant Boone you'd be stopping by this afternoon. You'd better go over this in the meantime.
Thank you, sir.
He wouldn't go. He became mean and vicious. I couldn't believe it was the same person. He said I'd been teasing him all night and he wasn't going to stand for it any longer. Said he was going to take what he wanted. He started hitting me and tearing at my clothes. Then he slammed me back against the desk and He said if I didn't cooperate, he was gonna have to get rough with me. I don't remember how it happened, but I must have reached in the drawer because suddenly the gun was in my hand. I didn't want to shoot him. I just wanted to frighten him, but he kept coming toward me, and then the gun went off, and why did it happen, Commander? I didn't want it to happen. I mean, was I right? Did I have a choice?
I don't think so. But that's what we'll have to convince the court. Now, let's see, you and Lieutenant Corbett worked in supply, became friends, but you didn't begin dating until a few weeks after your separation from your husband. Is that correct?
Right.
What was Lieutenant Corbett like?
Oh, he was warm, outgoing, uninhibited. He had a way of saying provocative things, so that they didn't really sound provocative. They sounded playful, good-humored.
How did he act that night? Anything different?
Not really. He was always terribly presumptuous, not terribly subtle. He kept saying, if we're going to wind up spending the night together, why put up a fuss?
Well, how much of a fuss did you put up? I mean, was he usually physically aggressive?
In a way, he was. He kept touching me, and I kept pushing his hand away, but he didn't take Don very seriously.
Well, yes, Lieutenant, but at the risk of sounding callous, we can't build a case on Lieutenant Corbett's good nature. Now, let me tell you again, I have been out of practice for quite a few years, and you do have the right to hire a civilian attorney. You also have the right for additional counsel from the Navy or any other branch of the service.
Captain Stiles explained that to me, and I told him I wanted to have the chance to talk to you before I made up my mind. I have, if you'll take me.
Well, looks like we're stuck with each other. Lieutenant, if you will excuse me, I have about a dozen years to catch up on.
Please make it Kid. And thank you, sir.
Goodbye, kid. I can tell you. I'm apprehensive, rusty. Contrary to what people think, self-defense is not a license to kill. The law says that any potential victim must use reasonable force under the circumstances. That means that I'm going to have to prove that if she didn't kill him, she definitely would have been raped. That's going to be quite a fight. And my opponent, Mr. Campbell, is pretty sharp.
Well, I think it's fabulous.
Hmm?
The whole thing, it's absolutely fabulous. It's the opportunity of a lifetime.
Really?
Mac, you're going to be a lawyer again. A practicing lawyer. How many nights did you toss and turn wondering whether you made the right decision in giving up law and becoming a police commissioner?
Once, when I had a ptomaine attack after the policeman's ball.
The purity of the law. You're going to be the happiest man on earth.
I like being a police commissioner.
Mac, you're going to be another Clarence Darrow. They're going to be flocking to you. You're going to be turning them away at the door.
Sally, I stand a good chance of losing this case. Right now, I'd say the odds are 20-80.
Oh, that's ridiculous. You're going to win on your closing speech alone, you know. I can see it all now. Another Emile Zola.
Well, I better get back and start writing it.
Why, aren't you coming home tonight?
No way. I've got homework till dawn.
How am I going to go to sleep without those cold feet on my back?
Maybe Mildred could help you out.
Great.
Oh, tomorrow morning I want you to contact Sergeant Enright and show him this list of people.
Jack Porter and Gina Davis. Who are they?
Potential defense witnesses. Jack Porter in particular.
Huh, he works with Naval Services, too. But he doesn't have a rank.
He's a civilian. Gina Davis is his girlfriend. The four of them were together the night of the murder.
And now they've disappeared?
Well, they're away on a camping trip for 3 weeks. I don't know where. Just give that to Enright. He'll know what to do.
All right.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Bell.
Thank you.
Is that strong enough, sir?
At this stage, turpentine wouldn't be strong enough.
You don't need coffee, sir. You need some sleep.
What I need is an insight on Lieutenant Donald Corbett. How does the all-American boy end up trying to rape somebody?
I'd like to talk to you, Commander.
If you need me, sir, I'll be outside.
Well, you've got quite a mess on your hands. Why go through with it?
What's on your mind?
Well, let's face it, Commander. You've got a weak case. The lady invited seduction. So where's the self-defense?
That's propaganda. You talking about a plea bargain?
No. The defense looks for the deal. All I try to do is sell it to the convening authority. But if you wanted your murder charge knocked down to manslaughter, I might be willing to cooperate. All you have to do is plead guilty.
That's all?
Lady gets 5 years and a dismissal. And you're off the hook.
The lady gets 5 years in prison and gets booted out of the Navy. I get to keep my pride, and you get your case on a nice silver platter. You're generous to a fault.
I'm dealing from strength.
You're dealing from an excess of self-esteem, Commander. I'll talk to the lady. It's her decision. But if she takes my advice, the answer's no.
Suit yourself, Commander.
If you ask my advice, the answer's no.
I don't know. Maybe I should.
Sure, if you set out to murder him. But you didn't. It was self-defense.
I guess I'm just panicking.
You're just reacting to Campbell's scare tactics. It's cheap intimidation. Don't. Look, kid, I know it isn't going to be easy, but we are going to prove that Corbett attacked you without provocation and placed your life in jeopardy, okay?
That must be Harley again, Commander. Would you mind?
Hello? Oh, yes, Commander. This is Stuart McMILLAN, Kids Defense Counsel. Well, I'm afraid she's busy right now. Yes, of course I'll tell her. Goodbye. I wish you'd talk to him, kid. I mean, separation or not, he's your husband. And he's concerned.
I can't talk to him or see him right now. I feel so clumsy about everything.
I'll be at my office if you need me.
Commander?
Yes? Yes?
Thanks for everything.
Bye, kid. Ah. Thank you.
I just tried again, sir. Still nobody's home.
That's a hot one. I go to court in a couple of hours. My wife's missing, not to mention my housekeeper.
Maybe they just went out shopping, something like that.
Mrs. McMILLAN, for one, does not rise with the dawn bell.
Commander McMillan's office. Got it, thank you. Time's confirmed, sir. Court convenes at 10:00.
Excuse me, Commissioner. Hi. Took the day off. I wouldn't miss this for the world, sir.
Charlie, what did you find out about Jack Porter?
Who? Porter?
Jack Porter. Don't you remember you were supposed to help locate Jack Porter and his girlfriend, Gina Davis, for this trial?
Sir, this is the first I've even heard about it.
Sally didn't contact you at all?
No, sir.
Oh, no. That's what happened to them. Sally and Mildred.
All rise.
The court will now come to order.
This court will now come to order. All right, Catalona, what's this all about?
Well, the accused ran the stop sign, north end of Tompkins Bridge, Your Honor.
Mrs. Sally McMillan. How do you plead?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
Give him the $2, sweetie.
Who's she?
She is the eyewitness to the supposed perpetration, Your Honor.
What?
She was in the car, Your Honor.
Oh.
If I may be permitted my opening statement at this time, Your Honor. A simple citizen is not on trial here, but rather the entire judicial system.
Mrs. McMillan, will you give him the $2?
The prosecution rests its entire case on the stop sign at the north end of Tompkins Bridge. Now, is that substantially correct?
Substantially.
Well, then by what tangled logic does this misguided public servant put me under arrest? There is no stop sign at the north end of Tompkins Bridge.
She's crazy, Your Honor.
Pay the fine.
I object, Your Honor. That is libel.
If it was anything, it'd be slander, Mrs. McMillan, which it isn't, because that's not what we're here for. You sure about that sign, Sheriff?
I nailed them myself last winter, Your Honor.
Well, then you did a poor job. It's not there now.
Regis, you still got that awful thing with the sawed-off muffler outside?
Yes, sir.
This court hereby appoints you a special committee to check on the sign.
Yes, sir.
You both from San Francisco?
Yes, sir.
You're a little off the beaten path.
Yes, sir.
Vacationing?
No, Your Honor, actually, we're looking for someone. Maybe you might be able to help us. It's a Mr. Jack Porter.
He's, traveling with a friend, Your Honor, if you know what I mean. Gina Davis.
I thought they were married.
You know them? Maybe you could help us find them. It's really important.
Well, sure. I mean, he was riding at the grocery store. I believe that's his Jeep out there. As a matter of fact, they're coming there right now.
Your Honor, do you think I could talk with him for a moment?
I suppose so.
Mr. Porter? Jack Porter?
Yeah.
Do you think I could talk with you for a moment?
Okay.
Hi, my name is Sally McMillan. I've been looking all over for you two. Do you know about Don Corbett?
Corbett, yeah. What about him?
He's dead. Listen, I better get back inside.
All right, we'll leave for San Francisco in the morning. Tell your husband we'll be happy to cooperate.
I know he'll appreciate it. Thank you. And thank you, Your Honor.
All right, special committee, what did you find out?
Like the lady said, Your Honor, the sheriff should have used bigger nails.
Where'd you get that?
I found it down by the riverbank, Sheriff. It, looks like it fell off the post at the end of the bridge.
I'll take that.
Case dismissed.
Let's get out of here before we end up on the rock pile.
Is this the gun, Lieutenant?
It is, sir. It was lying on the floor near the body of the deceased.
Let the record note that the witness is identified government exhibit number 1. Lieutenant Brownell, let's get back to the call you received. Could you describe the accused's tone of voice over the telephone?
It's kind of a monotone, sir.
Not excited or irrational?
No, sir.
Would it be fair to describe the accused's voice as calm?
Yes, sir, it would.
No further questions. Your witness, Commander.
Lieutenant Brownell, after entering Lieutenant Boone's house that night, did you speak to her?
Yes, sir, I did.
Could you describe her tone of voice then?
That was about how she looked, sir. Kind of dazed.
Would you call it a monotone?
Yes, sir, I believe you could.
Did she slur any of her words?
No, sir.
Could you describe her voice as calm?
Yes, sir, I believe you could.
The same calm and rational voice you heard over the telephone?
Yes, sir.
And yet you describe her voice and her appearance when you spoke to her in person as dazed. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Then, in your opinion, her voice was dazed when she called you in the security office. Is that correct?
I guess so, sir.
Thank you, Lieutenant. That's all.
Hey, beautiful. How was that for neat lawyering? Well, excuse me, miss. When I said beautiful, I didn't mean that you were beautiful. I meant that he... not that you're not... Excuse me.
Mr. Seelig, you are the manager of the Officers Club at this station?
Yes, sir, I am.
You were working at the club on the night of Lieutenant Corbett's death?
I was.
Did you see Lieutenant Corbett and Lieutenant Boone at the club that evening?
Yes, sir, they were there.
How did they act toward each other, Mr. Seelig? Casual? Indifferent?
Anything but. I mean, the way they were dancing together, real close. For my money, it was kind of embarrassing.
What else about Lieutenant Boone and Lieutenant Corbett attracted your attention, Mr. Seelig?
Well, at one point, they moved off the dance floor into this kind of dark area, and they kissed.
A fraternal kiss?
No, sir, anything but. Me, I'd call it an X-rated kiss.
A passionate kiss?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Seelig, wasn't it possible that Lieutenant Corbett forced Lieutenant Boone off the dance floor? Forced his attentions on her?
No, sir. From what I could see, the lady was giving as good as she got.
And did they go beyond the kiss?
Well, no, sir, not right there, but for my money, a kiss like that in public means all the way in private.
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained. The witness will confine himself to answering the questions.
Your witness, Commander.
Mr. Seelig, are you married?
Yes, sir.
And prior to your marriage, I presume you courted more than one young lady?
Yes, sir.
Did you ever kiss any of these young ladies?
Yes, sir.
Passionately?
Yes, sir.
X-rated?
Well, yes, sir, I guess so.
And did you have affairs with every one of these X-rated young ladies?
Objection, Your Honor. Irrelevant. The witness's premarital sexual prowess has no bearing on this case.
Your Honor, the witness has inferred that the accused's participation in a kiss constituted an invitation for seduction. I'd like to prove it otherwise.
Objection overruled.
Mr. Seelig, did you have affairs with all these young women?
No, sir.
Well, isn't it possible then that the accused, along with some of your young lady friends, was willing to enter into an X-rated kiss without inviting her partner to go all the way?
I guess so.
Could you speak a little louder, sir?
I guess so.
Thank you.
You're not eating your sandwich, sir.
Well, I'm not very hungry.
Because of the trial? Sir, you're doing so very well. I think you're fantastic.
It's too early in the first quarter.
No score, just a lot of razzle-dazzle on both sides. But they've got Naaman.
Commander! Commander! Commander,
What is
the wife is on the phone.
Where is she?
She's out of town somewhere, sir. I heard the coins dropping in the machine.
Sally, where are you?
Mac, I've got the most terrific news for you.
Is Mildred with you?
Of course.
Are you all right?
We're fine.
I told you to send Enright out to look for Porter.
That's the good news. We found Jack Porter and Gina Davis. They said they're going to head back down there tomorrow.
Ah. And the bad news?
Bad news?
The bad news.
Well, I mean, if you could call a transmission bad news.
How bad?
Oh, not really that bad. The station manager says you ought to be able to have it fixed up good as new. And not really that much either.
How much?
$275.
How long?
Well, he says it shouldn't take more than a couple of days.
Where are you?
Well, we decided to take the back road. We're in the cutest little town about an hour north of San Francisco. The only trouble is that the bus doesn't leave out of here till tomorrow morning.
All right, give me the details. I'll see if I can find somebody to pick you up.
Captain Emerson, you had dinner at the Officers' Club on the night of Lieutenant Corbett's death. Is that correct?
It is.
Lieutenant Boone and the deceased, Lieutenant Corbett, were at a nearby table with another couple. Is that correct?
It is.
Sir, would you describe Lieutenant Boone's behavior that evening?
Indiscreet would be a kind word.
In your opinion, then, would you say that Lieutenant Boone exhibited a loose pattern of behavior?
I would. Her conduct was unbecoming a naval officer.
Thank you, Captain. No further questions.
Captain Emerson, you condemned Lieutenant Boone's behavior that night, yet you failed to mention Lieutenant Corbett. Now, doesn't it still take two to tango?
A man responds to a woman's signals, Commander.
You mean it couldn't be the other way around?
A naval officer would not behave that way in public unless he was incited, Commander.
Sir, Lieutenant Boone is a Navy officer.
But she's a woman.
Oh, I see what you mean. She couldn't help being a woman first and an officer second.
You want to say it that way? Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Is that it?
Oh, yes, that's it.
Friendly? They were a lot more than friendly. See, I waited on their table at the club, so I kind of had a front row seat.
Would you say that Lieutenant Boone and Lieutenant Corbett were openly affectionate?
Like a couple of puppies. Corbett's hands were roaming, and the lady wasn't putting up that much of a fight.
During the course of the evening, while you were serving drinks, Miss Farrell, did you overhear any of their conversation?
Yes, I did.
What did you overhear, Miss Farrell?
Well, at one point, I heard Lieutenant Corbett lean over and say, "Let's get out of here and go get a room and lock ourselves up for a couple of days."
Did you hear Lieutenant Boone's reaction?
I sure did. She said, "Why waste the money, Don? Why don't you just move into my place?"
Thank you, Miss Farrell. Your witness, Commander.
Miss Farrell, have you ever been propositioned?
Once or twice.
Outrageously?
Well, I'm not quite sure what kind of proposition you're talking about.
Oh, the kind of proposition you don't take seriously. For example, somebody comes into the club and suggests you could run away with him to the South Seas. You know he's married, he's joking. That kind of outrageous proposition. Sound familiar?
It sure does.
Are you insulted?
No, I'm not insulted.
Annoyed?
No.
But you do put them in their place.
Oh, it's not a question of putting them in their place. I mean, not if they're not serious to begin with.
So you go along with a joke. Someone says, "Hey, Terry, let's run away to a South Sea island." You answer, "Sure, when do we leave?" Sound familiar?
It sure does.
Friendly sarcasm.
Yeah.
Miss Farrell, when Lieutenant Corbett suggested taking a room for a few days, Lieutenant Boone answered by saying, "Why waste the money? Why don't we move into my place?" Wasn't she, in fact, responding with friendly sarcasm to an outrageous proposition?
Oh. Well, that was different. She...
Thank you, Miss Farrell. No more questions. You may step down, Miss Farrell. The hour is late. We'll recess until tomorrow.
All rise.
See you in the morning, kid.
I saw the last few minutes, sir. You were really good. I think you got him worried.
Yeah. About as worried as a barracuda. One of these sessions is gonna move in and tear me to pieces.
Lieutenant Reese, you double dated with Lieutenant Corbett on 3 separate occasions, is that right?
That's right.
Did you ever personally observe Lieutenant Corbett make advances to the young ladies that he dated?
Well, yes.
And did you detect anything dangerous in these advances? The actions of a sexual psychopath?
Objection, Your Honor. The witness is hardly qualified to discuss the psychological aspects of Lieutenant Corbett.
Sustained.
How did the women react to Lieutenant Corbett?
They liked him.
Oh? They didn't fear for their physical well-being?
No.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
Lieutenant Reese, earlier you mentioned that you double dated with Lieutenant Corbett on 3 separate occasions. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And was Lieutenant Corbett accompanied by the same young lady each time?
No, sir. He dated the same girl on 2 of those occasions.
2 different young ladies in all?
Yes, sir.
Did he know these young ladies well?
Pretty well, sir.
Well enough to be having affairs with them?
Objection, Your Honor. Irrelevant.
Your Honor, trial counsel himself has anticipated the defense. It is he who placed the sexual mores of the accused at issue in this trial. Would he now deny me the right to cross-examine on an issue of his making?
Overruled. The witness may answer the question.
Lieutenant Reese?
Yes, sir. I believe he was having affairs with them.
He told you as much?
Yes, sir.
Lieutenant Reese, earlier you indicated the 2 young ladies who dated Lieutenant Corbett were comfortable with him, that they in no way feared for their well-being. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Well, Lieutenant Reese, why in the world would they be frightened of Lieutenant Corbett's sexual advances, when in fact they already had been intimate with him?
I don't know, sir.
Thank you, Lieutenant Reese. No more questions.
May it please the court, the government now calls Joanne Nelson to the stand.
Objection, Your Honor. The defense has not received notification of this government witness.
Commander Campbell?
The government has only recently secured this witness, Your Honor. Notification of intention was forwarded to defense counsel yesterday afternoon. I can only surmise that it's been delayed in channels.
Either that or the trial counsel hoped the witness would be admitted without challenge.
Is the defense counsel calling me a liar?
That's enough, gentlemen. You will direct your remarks to the court and not to each other. In view of the circumstances, this court is adjourned until such time as the defense counsel can properly examine the witness.
All rise.
Well, he sure pulled a fast one, didn't he?
Just as annoyed at myself. I couldn't locate Joanne Nelson. Campbell did. We could talk to her.
I liked Don. I liked him very much. We didn't get to know each other too well, just a few months, but I had the feeling that we had a relationship and that it might develop into something even stronger. But now he's dead. I still can't believe it.
Miss Nelson, has Commander Campbell instructed you at all?
Instructed me. I'm not sure what you mean.
Well, I mean, has he discussed particular questions and possible responses from you as a witness?
Except for a few moments this morning. The only contact I've had with Commander Campbell has been by telephone, when he located me back east and asked me to return for the trial.
Well, thank you, Miss Nelson.
Well, then, you dated Lieutenant Corbett half a dozen times or more. Isn't that right, Miss Nelson?
Yes, that's right.
What did you do on these dates, Miss Nelson?
Well, we went to the movies once or twice. We had dinner out, that sort of thing.
Did you and Lieutenant Corbett have an affectionate relationship?
Well, I suppose we were normally affectionate for the amount of time we knew each other.
Held hands?
Yes,
Kissed?
yes.
Embraced, caressed each other from time to time?
Yes.
Was Lieutenant Corbett an aggressive companion, Miss Nelson?
Well, yes, but not in a serious way.
Could you explain that?
Well, Don, Lieutenant Corbett, was the sort of person who was familiar with people right from the start. I suppose the things he said and did might have been a little, well, unsettling coming from somebody else, but coming from Don, you accepted them.
And Lieutenant Corbett, being Lieutenant Corbett, I suppose he made more than one proposition the very first night you met.
Yes, sir, he did.
Did you accept them, Miss Nelson?
No.
You didn't encourage him at all?
No.
Didn't you and Lieutenant Corbett have an affair, Miss Nelson?
No, we did not.
Why not?
Because I didn't want to.
You refused his advances?
Yes, that's correct.
Are you trying to say that he never once managed to maneuver you into a compromising situation?
No.
Miss Nelson, are you trying to tell this court that the same man who propositioned you countless times over half a dozen different evenings never once succeeded in forcing himself upon you?
No!
Well, thank you, Miss Nelson. Your witness, Commander.
No questions.
We didn't do too well on that one, did we?
Well, he can't even cross-examine her without making it worse.
Your Honor, the government rests.
Very well. I think that does it for today. Court stands in recess until 0800 tomorrow morning.
The Fresh Fish and Pizza restaurant?
Mildred thinks it's good. Speaking of Mildred, she and Sergeant Enright ought to be here pretty soon.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks.
I need this.
You look so down.
I took a beating today.
I know. Joanne Nelson.
Campbell used her like a booby trap. I saw it coming.
Oh, well, that was today. Tomorrow you start your defense. You're gonna run over him like a tank.
Some tank. How do I prove self-defense?
I seem to recall something about reasonable doubt. They're the ones that have to prove murder.
Thank you, loyal cheering section. I really must go. I'll grab a couple of sandwiches on the way.
Mac. You rat! All this going on and you remembered our anniversary.
Why, he wouldn't forget no matter how busy he was, would you, Commissioner?
That's great.
Sit. I'll take that.
I really have to be going. I'll grab
Commissioner,
a
I
slice.
think you better sit until this little celebration has run its course. Excuse me. Oh.
Commander Boone, you and your wife were married for 5 years prior to your separation. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Would you describe your wife as a fun-loving person? Like to go out at night, dining, dancing, parties?
Just the opposite. Kid liked her home. She liked to be home.
Would she be inclined to drink a lot?
Seldom drank at all. Had to be an occasion for Kit to take more than 1 or 2 drinks.
Could you describe your wife's character as exemplary?
Without hesitation.
What was her general reputation in the community?
I don't know anyone who had a bad word to say about Kit. She was and is an honest, decent person.
Thank you, Commander Boone. Your witness, Commander.
Commander, you and your wife have been separated for the past 2 months, is that correct?
That's correct.
What was the cause for the separation, sir?
Objection, Your Honor. The trial counsel's question exceeds the scope of direct examination.
Overruled.
Why did you and your wife separate, Commander?
We weren't getting along.
Can you be more specific?
She wanted to work to stay in the Navy. I wanted her at home.
Was this a conflict of recent development, Commander?
No. We discussed it from the time we were first married.
Mm-hmm. You work at the supply center, do you not?
I do.
As does your wife.
Yes.